welcome to the Keelhauled podcast. I'm the voice of Sea of Thieves, and we've got a lot of Sea of Thieves news for you. So tie yourself to the mast and hold fast.
Ahoy there, pirates. I hope you had yourselves a good week and a good weekend. I know I did. This week is going to be a very special week. We're going to have the community members for the Patreon joining me for this community episode. They are a specific tier. They get the Gold Hoarder tier, so they are invited to this week's episode. I may be doing this at the end of each month to see how it goes, but I did want to let you know starting on the 5th, there are going to be Twitch drops, so make sure you guys are keeping an eye out for that. All that and more in this week's episode of Keelhauled Podcast. For those of you who are listening to this, you may be wondering how come I'm not talking about seasons, and there's a good reason for that. But for right now, I wanted to have an opportunity to speak with some of the people that mean the most to me, and those are my gold hoarders. Those are my patrons. So this is something that I've kind of been thinking about for a while, and I kind of sprung on them to see if they'd be interested in it. And thankfully enough, I actually had some folks in the Gold Hoarder Discord channel who are some of the top patron supporters for the podcast that wanted to join me. So I wanted to thank you all for coming and welcome you all. So El Jefe Esteban, Mina Ferry, Regis Stella, Rust Belt Kid, and Big Bad Pad. Not all of them, but definitely the majority of the group. Thank you everyone for joining me today.
You're welcome, Logan.
You're very welcome.
I was hoping to kind of start this off as a way of just kind of breaking the ice. I was hoping that you guys could all kind of introduce yourselves, and I'm kind of curious, 2 minutes or so, what was the thing that kind of got you into Sea of Thieves? So let me start with El Jefe Esteban.
Goodness. So I guess I started, I had a couple of buddies here locally that had got the game, and I saw it when it first debuted on E3, and I was like, oh, it looks pretty cool. And then completely forgot about it. And then so my buddies had got into it. They're like, oh, you should download it. You should get it. So I did, and I mean, got hooked right away, and just absolutely fell in love with it. Just just the whole aspect of the game, sailing around and doing things. I just absolutely loved it. I like adventure-y kind of things anyway. Big like Zelda fan and questy things and that kind of stuff. So it was right up my alley, and the whole sandbox aspect of it was just really, really cool. It's nothing I'd really experienced before. So I've been hooked since day one, and actually, look, if it hadn't been for you and your Discord, I would have gone off a long time ago, because those two guys that I started with, they stopped playing not long after the first anniversary update. And if I didn't have this community, I would not have continued on, because I personally don't like to solo in this game. So thank you for just creating this environment, because it definitely means a lot to me. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I know how you feel as far as like adventure games. I've always been drawn to Zelda likes and stuff like that. So it's when I saw this and I saw how close it was to like Wind Waker, it was really amazing to really get that feeling of just sailing in general.
Wind Waker was a lightning in a bottle for some people, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're hearing that voice, that was Regis Stella. Regis, why don't, since you're here, why not jump in, introduce yourself, and give the folks a sense of what got you into Sea of Thieves.
Right. I'm going to be a little bit nervous doing this, so...
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm Regis Stella. I've been playing Sea of Thieves since the middle of 2018. And I got the game before the game, a little after the game launched, on a physical disc copy of the Xbox One. And the problem was I didn't have an Xbox One at the time, so I had to wait about 3 months until I actually played it, until I actually got an Xbox One to play the game itself. And it was roughly before Cursed Sails. And you may remember me from a little shout out during an episode before. Captain Logan here interviewed Mike Chapman, the creative director of Sea of Thieves, about my Sea of Thieves fanfic called Friendship in the Sea of Thieves. A fanfic, believe it or not, is a crossover between Sea of Thieves, of course, and another brand, My Little Pony, because why the hell not? And the reason why I played Sea of Thieves is, well, I just love pirates, and I think pirates is pretty underrated in the gaming sphere. I mean, sure, you got games like Assassin's Creed that doing their own thing, but Sea of Thieves is just something special, like my own personal like pirate paradise. And yeah, it's just I love the lore. I was a little nervous about the whole multiplayer thing. It's like, oh god, this is going to be terrible for me because I'm not very good at social things. But eventually, I grew and got used to the whole thing, and I've been playing. I'm also a first year pirate legend. Like those who became pirate legend before the first year anniversary was done, and I'll gladly pass on the torch to somebody else. So thank you, Logan, for I believe I joined, become a listener of your show maybe a few episodes before you did the first part of the Athena's Fortune review, like on Ramsey's side of the story. And I've been a loyal listener and now Patreon gold holder ever since.
I appreciate it, really do. Yeah, I never did get around to finishing that review, did I?
No, you didn't. Sorry if I had to bring it up from nearly little over 2 years ago now.
Oh, don't remind me. Awesome. Well, glad to have you, and I'm glad that you've been digging so much of Sea of Thieves, enough to even write your own stories about it. I think that's one of the best things about this game is that it's a great way to inspire folks to be creative in that world. Moving to our next guest, Mina Ferry, if you'd be so kind to introduce yourself if you have an opportunity and explain to us a little bit about why you got into Sea of Thieves or what drew you in.
I'm obviously Mina Ferry. My husband played Sea of Thieves day one, and he very much enjoyed it and suggested that I have at it, and I fell in love with it. It was I don't really have much gaming in my past. I had a Game Boy growing up and a GameCube later on, but I've never been much of a gamer. But this game just was really good. To start with, it was mostly just the family that I played with, and then I joined Discord specifically to join this Discord group. And through this, I've met a whole bunch of people, carried on playing since then. I did step away and joined another Discord for a little while. I was still with Keelhauled, but I was part of Nath Pacewell's Robin Hood Discord, helping people get Pirate Legend with loot stacks and stuff. That was fun. And yeah, I love the community, especially the Keelhauled community. There's so many friendly people, and it's been a fun way, especially this last year. It's been a way to kind of keep in touch with people and interact with people and have fun without leaving.
Yeah. I know you've been one of the mods that has helped me with this community. So to say that there's friendly people here, a lot of that's on because of you, as well as El Jefe and Captain Blackheart and Chateau Neuf. You guys really, really have helped curate the community that's here. So
it's been a pleasure.
Trust me, you've helped me out a lot in the past. And I know you spoke about some of the people that you've met and played with. One of those being Big Bad Pad. Pad, how you doing, man? Let me hear your thoughts on Sea of Thieves. How'd you get in? When'd you get in? What do you like?
Something's wrong.
Pad, you there? All right. Let me put a pause on Pad. We'll see if his internet starts being nicer. Rust Belt Kid, how you doing?
What's up, buddy? Sorry, the mic was messed up. But anyways, yeah, no. So it's funny because I look back at the last couple of years and I realize how if it wasn't for video games, period, I wouldn't have found Sea of Thieves because I was first introduced to you through another community, and which was ironic because I bought Sea of Thieves day one. My brother-in-law and I were, wanting to play something together. We went out and bought Sea of Thieves day one. Neither one of us actually ever put it in. And I don't really know why. It wasn't like at the time, it wasn't like we weren't really paying attention to video game media talking about the game. So any negativity towards it, we didn't really hear about that. It was just kind of one of those things where it was like, hey, we were playing other things. And it was like, okay, well, when I get to it, I get to it. And eventually it just got to the point to where I was like, okay, hey, I'm going to put this in. And it just so happens that I put it in right around, if some of you remember, when they extended Curse sales for that week or two that they extended it, is right when I came in. And at first, ironically, the first person I ever played with, which I did meet through your Discord, but the first person I ever played with, come to find out, the guy lives in the town next to me. So, you have a multimedia, a multi-platform, well, not multi-platform, but PC and Xbox, whatever. But you have this game that is now brought millions of people across the world together. Yet the first person I ever played with lives 15 minutes down the road, and I know his family. And it made me laugh because it was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to have, I can go get beers with this guy. I can hang out with this guy. Like, it's not just, this might turn into a friendship or something, right? Well, fast forward, he just kind of fell off the face of the earth. And then that's when I started to become a little bit more active on Discord. And out of all people, I am the evil stepchild of the group. I'm the one that, Mina and Hefe and Patty like to shake their heads because I have a dark sense of humor and I don't shut up. But, somebody's got to be the ornery one. And you fast forward these last 2 years and, everybody from Hefe to Mina to Patty, Chateau, it doesn't seem like it's been a year and a half to 2 years with most of these people that I call friends, the people that I call family. I'm a little bit about myself, not to go too off the tangent, but when I got out of the Marine Corps and moved back home, I kind of stayed away from people just because it got me in trouble. And I call most of the group that we sail with on a weekly basis, they're my family. And Sea of Thieves, although the game is irritating at sometimes, but...
Well, believe me.
Right. Whether it's, things that they refuse to just never fix or seems like they never want to fix. But at the end of the day, every time something new comes out, if there's issues, we can all complain about it. But guess what? We're all there playing it together as a family. And that's the biggest thing for me these last couple years is I've never put this many hours and this much time into a game ever. So to walk away now would be to walk away from my family, and I could never let that happen. So yes, Rusty is being serious for a minute. Everybody can hold their breath and take a sigh of relief.
From US Marine to Pirate Marine, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Oh, Rust, I love you. Yeah, it's amazing just how many people I've met over the years and how many of you are so important to my life, and I still haven't gotten to meet any of you, and it kills me to think about that, but I'm just hoping that there's a point. That's true. Yeah, not having conventions has definitely reduced that opportunity. It looks like Big Bad Pad has quit and then joined back, so I'm hoping things are working better for you, Pad. How you doing? You there?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But the phone's connected.
We're losing him.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's getting kind of robot-y. Any luck?
It's that British internet.
No.
There's nothing wrong with the internet, it's the headset.
Oh, is it the headset?
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, Bluetooth's not connecting correctly and dropping in and out.
I've had some weird issues with that with Discord alone.
Do you have another headset?
I'm going to have to go and get my new secondary headset out, yeah. I
Does
shall
it
be
plug
back.
does it jack in or something like that? I hope so.
Yeah, the second one does. This one's just dual series, so it's just Bluetooth straight to the phone.
Okay, just making sure.
Bummer. Okay.
Yeah, back in a sec.
All right.
Yep.
That's the beauty of doing this all offline where I'm not streaming, because I can just snip all this stuff out and no one has to worry
Yep.
about it. Well, while Pat is working on that, we'll reserve a spot for him and see if we can get him to talk a little bit, because I still want him to share his feelings. As we kind of move forward, I'm curious to know. I hit up with a topic about tall tales, because it's been a while since we've had one. Heart of Fire was our last
Really?
tall tale, so I'm kind of curious. How do you guys all feel? And Hefe, we'll start with you. How do you feel about there not being a regular cadence to the tall tales? Is it something that you're missing, or are you happy with the content that we are getting and are still pretty sated with it?
I really love the story aspect the Tall Tales give. So it's kind of sad that that we haven't had one in a while. But at the same time, I get that they're working on a bunch of things, and so I'm sure that more stories is planned and coming, and I look forward to when it does. But in general, I love the Tall Tales. I think they're really cool, a cool aspect of the game. I love the lore. I've got the books. I've read the books, the novels, and the Tales of the Sea of Thieves and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool to kind of see all that stuff come to life in game. And but yeah, so I mean, I am kind of sad that there's not a regular cadence, but I'm sure that when the next stuff comes out, it's going to be fantastic. And at that point, I'll be okay with it.
Nice. Mina, how about you? How are you feeling about the cadence of them?
I mean, it would be nice to have some more story, because there's obviously more to be told. I have also read the book. I've not read any of the comics, but I've read the books that they put out. I haven't actually 100%ed all of the Tall Tales yet. I'm kind of spreading it out a little bit. I've done all of them at least once.
Mm-hmm.
But like Hefe, I am very much aware that they are working on a lot of other things, and I look forward to whenever they're able to put out a new Tall Tale. I will be looking forward to putting it. But there's so many other things to be doing, and like I said, having not finished the other ones, I have things that I can still do in the.
Yeah, definitely. Jumping in, we have Captain Blackheart. Captain Blackheart, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. We're just recording and doing a little bit of our Gold Hoarder special edition. Do you want to introduce yourself and give the folks an idea of what got you into Sea of Thieves?
Oh, geez. I don't even know what to say. I wasn't aware of what was going on. I just hopped into the chat.
Well, if I could be so kind as to give the folks at home listening an opportunity. So Captain Blackheart, if you folks don't know, is one of my mods for the Discord channel. He has been a loyal supporter for a very long time and has really gone above and beyond to try and help make sure that anything that happens in the Discord goes by the code, and that folks are being kind to each other and nice. We're doing a special edition of the episode right now just for the Gold Hoarders and my mods, just to kind of talk about Sea of Thieves and whatnot. We're hoping that Pad is got his other headset right now, and that we'll be able to hear him. But before I hand that off, did you want to add anything to my introduction?
No, just I've, like you said, I've been part of the community and I've loved it. It's probably the best gaming community I've been aware of, and it's been an honor to be part of it.
It's been an honor having you. Honestly, it's really great that you've been dedicating so much of your time to help out, make sure that everyone's really kind and considerate to each other. I am curious though, what got you into Sea of Thieves?
You know what? I think it was probably just one of the old original trailers. I think them just showing the adventure aspect of going to islands and digging up stuff, and I think it was well put together in a way that really tickled that fantasy of the ability to chart one's own adventure in a shared world.
Yeah, there have been pirate games, but there has been barely any fantasy pirate games like Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Pad, how you doing over there?
One of the few times I have a mic and he doesn't.
I was saying, trying to get you a mic, and it isn't working.
Too funny. Either that or he fell asleep. We don't know. So Regis, Rust, going into the Tall Tales, how do you guys feel? And Regis, I'll kick off with you. Are you happy that with what we have, or have you been burning to get more Tall Tales in the game?
Well, it's been nearly a year since we had any story Tall Tales for a while. Like, Heart of Fire came out in March, the Tall Tale and the update, and I've been patiently waiting ever since, but eventually everybody's patience just either wears thin or just outright just dissipates in disappointment.
Yeah.
So I really do like them, and my favorite one is Shores of Gold because the island itself has some massive potential. Like a potential pirate city can be built there, is that big of a potential.
Yeah, there's a lot that could be done with that space. Rust, how about you? How you feeling about the cadence so far?
I mean, with the consistency, I think we can all agree that we would like to see a little bit more. We all understand, what Rare's been doing. They're very forward about what they try to do with the game, so I can understand why we haven't had as much since the Heart of Fire. Coming from myself, okay, yeah, I have the comics, which I read, and I have the book, and I'll be the first one to admit, still haven't read the book. Just haven't gotten around to it. I've talked about it a million times. Hefe's heard me say it thousands of times that I need to read the book. So, I still have that little bit of, lore in the sense of okay, I can still read the book. I can still get some information. But at the same time, it's not like I haven't heard all the stories from the book to begin with. So, I mean, at the end of the day, looking forward, there's so much potential, obviously, with lore and telling stories and even adding to whatever lore we already have out there. But at the same time, I can understand, I guess, the sense of maybe not bleeding out, one story at a time, and how, they would rather kind of throw a couple of them out there.
Yeah.
But, totally. For people like Mina, yeah, I'm still jealous in a way because, she hasn't completed all of them. So obviously not to go off the beaten path about it with the seasons, but at least with seasons, it's oh, hey, to complete all the season stuff, you have to, one of the things is to complete each of them again. And I'm actually looking forward to that. I know a couple of us have talked about, quote unquote, cheating the system and, getting in with one of our friends that has, that save point at the end. But it's no, I kind of want to do them over again because it's been long enough that, hey, I want to hear the story over again.
Yeah.
So I think with the new seasons, we all have the opportunity to kind of maybe not cheat the system like some of us have before and do it the right way and go through all of it, one last time. But, what happens when that's over with? Yeah, we're kind of stuck in the air again with our hands up, wanting more, but we know it's not probably coming anytime soon.
Yeah, it's tough to know when we're going to be seeing some. I would like to say that by the time the first anniversary comes around, we'll probably get some new story for the actual game. It's been something that's been on my mind for a while. And I actually had the crew of the Eerie reach out on Twitter and actually mentioned about how a lot of the season rewards are Shroudbreaker themed and my thoughts on that. I have a feeling that there's a reason for this. I have a feeling that we're probably going to find out in the near future why the Shroud Breaker was such a focal point for the cosmetics. I think we might be going back to the Shores of Gold soon. As
hopefully building a pirate city.
That'd be cool. I don't know how the game would handle that, but I would love to have a pirate city anywhere.
Just make it its own. Just make it its own area.
Yeah. As we kind of look forward, I wanted to check in with Pad. Pad, how you doing?
Did you get your headphones?
Any luck?
I heard a clank or something.
I think he's maybe working on it.
He's trying to swim to the bottom, get that tea out of the ocean.
Well, it wouldn't be so bad if he didn't keep dumping it off the side. So kind of as we with Tall Tales and stuff, you mentioned seasons. I guess starting with Hefe. Hefe, how's your seasons experience been?
Yeah, so far it's been pretty good. I had the opportunity on launch day to spend a pretty considerable amount of time going through some things, and I went into it with the total expectation of nothing working and none of my reputation actually sticking, but it has, and it's fantastic. And we're just a few days in, and I'm at 28 out of 100 or so. So it's going great. And what's nice about it is that they have the trials that you can, if you want to kind of fast track through it, but you just go play. Like you don't have to like go necessarily do very specific things to get specific rewards. You just play, and it really happens. And I really like that because that way it's just you can just kind of just do your thing and progress through it naturally. And I really like the aspect of that.
Yeah,
that is really attractive.
That is a lot of fun. Mina, how you liking season so far?
Yeah, I'm quite liking it. I like that, like Javi said, that you just have to play and you will progress. I will be looking into more depth what they have as goals to meet and stuff at some point. I've only had a chance to play a couple of times because I was working Thursday night. My playtime is majorly impeded on at the moment because of the situation here. Kids during the day and then working at night. So playtime's been kind of relegated to the end most of the time. But having just played Friday night and a bit this afternoon, I at level 17.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, I've just been playing. I'm quite enjoying the new voyage that they have available. It's a nice something different.
Anything's better than just finding animals and just getting some fragile as all heck cargo.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything's better than that.
I mean, I don't mind the merchant stuff, to be honest. It's not something that I do much anymore, but I enjoyed. Sometimes I would just on a solo sloop and knock out merchant stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it.
To each their own.
Anyone else have any feelings so far on seasons for the most part?
I was going to say, Logan, like with the seasons, it's like every new thing that Rare brings out, it kind of brings a new life, at least to our community that we have, and I'm sure with some other pretty dedicated communities. At the same time, it does seem a little odd because it's in the last 2 days. I know I'm not the only one that's expressed it. It does seem as if there's not as many people on the seas, which could be for various reasons. But the one thing I noticed and with seasons was, like Hefe said, we went into it expecting nothing to work, nothing to stick, none of our achievements and any of that to actually stay or pop up eventually. And it has, which shows a little bit of a difference than what we've seen, I think, over the last couple of years. The biggest concern I have was, and now I'm going brain dead because Mina had mentioned something, but so I'll kind of go off of that. But like with seasons, I've noticed Mina has done a lot of merchant over the last couple of years. There's a few other people that have done a lot of merchant. Then there's us that have shied away from it. And almost, I feel like for me, whether it's solo, which I don't like to do, but it almost brings a new light to being like, oh, hey, like there are things in seasons that are attached to merchant. Let's force you to do merchant. Plus, with the new voyage, and that's now I remember what Mina was mentioning with the new voyage. Like Mina said, she had mentioned about loving the new voyage. I think it's a great change of pace. It definitely helps with getting some of that, some of the merchant stuff done, even if you are completely leveled up. But maybe I just have horrible luck. Or maybe it's because I sail with Patty all the time, or Hefe in Tennessee and myself never have wind. I don't know. Somewhere there's bad luck on the seas because I still have yet to be able to find a key and find a ship and unlock it. Somewhere along the line, either the key's missing or the ship is gone. So if anybody wants to do a dance, do something, give me some good luck because I haven't found one yet.
At first, you don't succeed. Go ahead. Yeah, try again. That's what I was going for.
It's funny that you bring that up. Yeah, it's been interesting. Pad, feel free to jump in if you're if things are working for you.
I love you, Patty. I love you.
Hey there, fans. I hope you guys are having a great day and a great time right now. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I did want to let you guys know about audiobooks.com. Right now, if you head over to the show notes, you'll actually find a link for all of the sponsors, but audiobooks.com will help you get smarter. You can pick 3 audiobooks for free, including 2 VIP books if you sign up. And if you want, you can always listen to those books, return them if you don't like, check out different things as they come along. And with the paid subscription, you'll get a new audio credit to use for another book the next month. So head over to audiobooks.com for your first 3 books for free using the link in the show notes. Yeah, seasons. A lot less intrusive than I was expecting. When I go into games with like Destiny or Call of Duty, Fortnite, it always feels like they're kind of beating you over the head with the season. Like, hey, by the way, there's a way to pay for the game beyond the cost of the game. With seasons, it feels like just another part of reputation to me. It feels like we aren't forced to do anything to pay for the plunder pass, but it feels like seasons is just something that kind of adds a little bit of icing to the cake. And I've really enjoyed the little bit of time that I got to play on Thursday night, and I'm hoping this weekend I'll get a chance to play more of it and jump in. The trials, I think, are something that are really interesting because it's something that you can do for the first season, but I'm curious to get everyone's thoughts on this. If you think that they're going to have new trials for the next season, because these are all kind of like introductory things to different types of parts of the game, where start and finish a tall tale, or go do a skeleton throw and things like that. Is this something that you think is going to be a little too repetitive if they just reset the progress on all of these, or do they need to come up with new trials for the next season? And Hefe, let's start off with you.
I definitely hope that they have some new stuff on season 2, because I really feel like a lot of the trials in season 1 is just a rehash of a bunch of the existing combinations that are already out there, which is fine. I mean, we're at a point in the game where there's a ton of new players, so I think there's a large player base where this is really going to be beneficial to them to complete some of those accommodations. But for some of us salty sea dogs that's been around for years now, it's like, oh, let's go do that again for the 3rd time. so hopefully going forward there will be some new things, some fresh stuff, some fresh content, because if they just keep repeating the same things over and over, that'll get a little, I don't know, redundant, and I wouldn't be too pleased with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely been some of the criticisms in the game is just the recycled content. I hear it all the time. Folks are upset about how content is just being recycled over and over in slightly different ways than we're used to doing. Mina, did you have any feelings on the trials that you have seen, or how do you feel about them using kind of the stuff that we did for Summer of Sea Thieves as a way to progress your renown through the first season?
I would like to think that this is them kind of trying it out, and they've put stuff in that they know works. And like has been said, there are a lot of new people that haven't done a lot of the stuff that they've got in the trials yet. So it gives them a chance to get some of it done and have a taste of what some of that was like. I would like to think that next season they would maybe have a bunch of different stuff to do. I think that's just a case of waiting. I'm kind of holding off my
Yeah,
judgment for it until it's kind of had a chance to show what they have planned.
very true. Yeah, we don't know what season 2 is going to look like, so
No.
it's possible they could do something really interesting.
Yeah, and it's all new for them as well, so
Yeah.
waiting to
Y- Regis, oh, sorry, Mina. Regis, how about you? How are you feeling about season trials? Do you think that it's a good thing that they're using these right now, or do you think that they need to do something fresh and not just reset the progress?
Well, I'm gonna talk about both seasons and season trials because you skipped over me for a little bit there for the season part of it. Uh,
Yeah, go for it.
Seasons. I was a little worried they were gonna do like a Fortnite or Call of Duty Warzone, and both of those like try to milk as much money as you can. But when I had a little go of myself when I was like blazing through my renown levels, I was like, this is pretty easy. And I never tried like a battle pass system, but I managed to buy it. And the first item I got was was Dark Warsmith pistol, like literally on level one. Just like, hey, you bought the battle pass? Here, have a freebie. And I think for trials as well, they probably gotta like keep some of them in because I honestly some of the things I saw like the same trial twice, like talk to Umbra on go on the Lagoon of Whispers, and like twice or 3 times I think. And some you can do by yourself, others you can just do with other crews as well, like get friendly in them. So I think they're gonna keep like the ones they already introduced in there, like just to start, just for like continuity's sake, for those who like you know play the like just spitballing here, play like those who are new to the game and want to like have fun, and also like yeah, I think they're gonna refresh those trials when season two comes around, and also add new ones as well. So well, it's a wait and see kind of game for me because I prefer to be shown and not tell, that kind of thing.
Right, right. I'm curious. Some of the discussions that I've had in the past with other guests is the idea of tall tales or events that prior to tall tales, like the Hungering One and Devil's Shroud or Devil's Roar and Curse Tales, events that we had a lot of fun with in the past that we don't have a way to access again. Do you think that they could do homages to those events through trials with seasons for future seasons when they get a little more comfortable? Like for a while, we had the flaming ship fleets, and it was a red ship in the sky as opposed to the standard one. Those have since disappeared, and they have set loot for the standard fleets. Do you think that trials would be a way that they could reintroduce some of that older event content? And Hefe, let's start off with you.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Have that as an option. And it may even be fun if they could go again and like reset some of that kind of stuff. Because like for instance, like I started the game it was like a week left in like the mermaid statue hunting event, whatever that was. So I missed the hungering one, so I never got to do that.
Me
So
neither.
I would love to be able to go back and redo that because I never got to experience it. And so any of those new players that are out there, there's a bunch of those event type things that now that it's kind of come and gone that they missed out on that opportunity. So I think they definitely have an opportunity to do that. Maybe if they need some of that kind of filler and within the middle of the 3 months before the new content drops, quarterly, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah. I feel bad for everyone that hasn't had an opportunity to go through those old events. Mina, you've been playing for a long time. How do you feel about the old events actually making a resurgent through trials in maybe a smaller form?
Yeah, I personally wouldn't mind that. I quite enjoyed all the bits and pieces. I was able to join in all of the stuff because I've been playing the whole time. Um, I know there's people that I sail with or know that haven't had a chance to do some of it. And quite happily join them in having a go at some of the old stuff. I I enjoy. I'm trying that didn't. The flaming ships were rather annoying.
I mean, they mostly
just
fire.
seemed
You
to.
didn't like all
They
the
mostly
fire?
fire.
I didn't really like them much, but I would do them. They just seemed to be a bit more hassle than the regular ships are. But
Well, you have to get like a lot of
yeah,
loot.
Yeah.
Not a lot of loot.
I would
Supplies.
I would be curious how they would do something like, say, the Hungering again, what with having all the Americas now on a ski post. It would be interesting how they would, if they were to reintroduce that as a season thing, or how they would do it. But yeah, I think having another go at all that would be quite good.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if that's even
Mm.
possible. I did want to check in with Big Bad Pat again and see if things are working for him yet or
I can
not.
hear everything.
There you go.
I can
We
hear
you
you.
now, buddy.
But it's just so long.
I don't know how to respond to that.
The thing is, I've been
I don't
able to
think
hear
anybody
you
can.
all the way through.
Well, I can hear you fine now.
I've been able to hear you all the way through. I've tried 2 headsets. I've even turned my laptop on and plugged it in to work on the board. This was the last attempt.
I think.
Well, we got
Yeah,
you
I
now,
think we
buddy.
got you now.
Yeah, we got you now.
Oh, yeah, just as you're about to wrap up. That's fine.
Well, let me give you a chance because you've been dealing with the phone and the headset and everything for now. So, for those of you that don't know, Big Bad Pat has been one of the best members of the Discord. He is constantly sailing with just about everyone up until all hours of the night in England, and I honestly don't even know how.
I don't have a problem. Well, just get out there now. I do not have a problem.
It's not a problem.
I just like
If
CFD.
it's not a problem if everyone supports you, right? Like
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget, I am also the Twitch drops.
Oh, you're the
That's
guy that
true.
reminds everybody about the Twitch drops.
Yeah. So if
That's
you've
the
been in
one.
the Discord and you've almost forgotten about the Twitch drops, it's probably thanks to Big Bad Pad for reminding you every day. And in fact, I want to save it for next week. Or actually, no, I guess we can't save it for next week. We kind of have to talk about it because it's coming up, isn't it? Shoot. It has. I totally forgot about that too. Okay, we'll get into that. But Pat, let me in Regis and Rust, I'll get you guys I want to get your thoughts on recycling the old events on seasons for trials and stuff. But I want to give Pat, since we've got him, an opportunity to kind of talk a little bit about himself and how he got into Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I've been gaming since teenage.
Oh no.
Don't even. But most of my gaming has been single player, so it's been all the Call of Duty. Never bothered drum. And it wasn't until probably about 5 years ago at work we'll play it, just like it.
Pat, if I could get you to talk a little bit closer to your mic.
And we lost him. Oh, there you go.
No, I'm there. No, it is. I think it is actually. So yeah, I started playing Rainbow Six, got into multi.
It's still cutting out, unfortunately.
In that way.
Yeah,
don't worry. I will cut out and I will play next. I'll do it next. Yeah,
we'll get you fixed up, Patty.
Hopefully.
Ah, dang it. We had him. We had him for a short amount of time.
We had him for a minute.
Like a Ruby Splash Shell, we had him and then he's gone the next minute.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's it's such a bummer. I'm next time I might want to check and see if something like Xbox Party might be a little bit easier for everyone to jump on and use, because I know Discord can be finicky on phones and stuff.
I'm using Discord on my phone. It's fine for me.
Yeah, no, but it's different for everyone. Well, let's jump back onto the topic that we were going on as far as some of the older events. Rust, I know that you had talked about wanting to play but not actually starting until later on with the game. Are there events that you missed out on that you'd love to see kind of tossed into the trials?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, like the Hungering one, Cursed Sales, I came in right at the end, obviously had no clue what I was doing at the time, other than the fact that, like, oh, hey, Cursed Sales has been extended. I'm like, looking at the combinations going, well, there's no way I'm going to finish these. So, a lot of some of the original events, I would love to, if they could figure out how to put them in the trials, I would be interested to see that. I wrote a couple notes down as we were talking, because to like kind of go off of a couple of things that were said with like seasons and some of the stuff. And the one thing that I liked that you said was that, I've played a lot of games that have season passes. Call of Duty, I've recently started playing Fortnite. Other games that I've played that have season passes or something like that. And a lot of it is, in your face, like, oh, hey, by the way, X amount of money, buy this. And, Rocket League's one of them. It's like, oh, well, hey, buy the season pass or buy the Rocket Pass. And, you end up spending more and more and more money, and it's right there in your face, right when you get on the game. And the one thing I like with Rare is, if you are new to this game, how do you even know Plunder Pass exists? Because it's, other than talking about seasons, they haven't really thrown it in your face. You really need to go out of your way to find, oh, hey, there's the Plunder Pass and it costs, $9.99. The one thing I know we talked about it last night. It almost seems as if it's industry standard that, hey, if you buy a season pass or you buy some kind of a pass, that you're going to earn enough that if you level out, you'll pay for the next season pass. And I know with the Plunder Pass that's just not the case right now. Now, will they change that? I don't know. I would like to see that changed, but it's not the end all be all, because, somebody like myself was going to spend the money anyways. Even we, like Hefe said it multiple times, I've heard you say it, other people have said similar things. If you're going to buy one item that comes from that Plunder Pass, at the end of the day, it's almost worth it just to buy the Plunder Pass anyways. So I don't see a huge issue with it, but it's something that I would like to see changed, possibly changed or looked at. But when you bring up the idea of trying to rehash some of like Hungering Deep and Cursed Sales and stuff like that, the problem I have with it is I would love to see it, but not saying that show me what you can do, or what have you done for me lately kind of idea, in the sense of we all love Rare. We're all playing this game for a reason. Through its problems and through its trials and tribulations, we're all still here. But, prime example would be Reapers and Gold Hoarders and everything when they brought out oh wow, I don't know why I'm going brain dead, but when your reputation I'm bringing up with running Emissary. Well, outside of that, outside of the people that really wanted to get grade 5 for the first 5 weeks to get their their extra Xbox achievement, once you've leveled up Emissary and you got those cosmetics, nothing else has come out from that. So I'm not saying that there aren't reasons for them not expanding on the Emissary or anything like that, or expanding on Tall Tales. There's obviously reasons that they have not done certain things and done certain things, but it does worry me that here's the trials. Within the trials right now, we have multiple things within the trials right now that are repetitive, like talking to Umbra. It's in there 2 or 3 times for 2 or 3 different trials. So, hopefully they can expand the trials. I'd love to see it, because although like Tennessee and FA have told me time and time again, hey, this is a repetitive game to a point, but if you're repeating the trials over and over again, when is it going to be even too much for us diehards and we're like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this. It's just the same thing over and over again. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll still play the game, but I'm not going to worry about any of this new stuff you're putting out. So it worries me that we haven't seen, or at least I can't think of one, where they have shown that they're going to really expand or change on something like that. So that's what worries me the most with trying to possibly do something like the Hungering Deep or something and adding that to trials, if they seem to not be able to expand on just the littlest thing.
Right.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that. They really haven't set a strong enough precedent to give us the confidence that we need to trust that if they introduce a new system, that they will continue to iterate on it and improve upon it and make sure. I think Tall Tales is the closest thing we have to that, where they launched the initial 9. We've had Maiden Voyage, we've had the Seabound Soul and the Heart of Fire. Each one has gotten better with time, but now it's been almost a full year since our last one, and we haven't seen a new introduction to that, but we've seen other stuff come to the game that has kind of supplanted the Tall Tales for now, in lieu of more kind of world-based events, more kind of repeatable options. Regis, how did you feel about the idea of some of those old events being brought back in a trials form for the seasons?
For world events that are coming back by trials, some events are good, like the Hungry Deep. I never got to experience that the first time around. Now I just see megalodons just spawn every few seconds. Not the Shroud of Ghost though, because that's a lie.
Right.
The Cursed Sails. Well, I did enjoy it, and I did like the idea, like an AI ship sailing around the seas. It just takes a long. I just understand why people just don't do those kinds of things, because it takes like a lot of supplies and a lot of time just trying to sink at least one of those bloody ships. And yeah, there's events like those, like Cursed Sails. While interesting, not really, like, for those who are like for those who can't be stuff like going around getting supplies and just just in order to like sink like at least 3 or 4 ships worth of waves.
Yeah.
Or 3 or 4 waves worth of ships. So, well, some are good, like Hungry Deep. Others, like Cursed Sails, maybe not a good idea, because again, the ship event, the skeleton fleet takes a while to get like supplies, and you kind of see why people. If you see like nobody doing like a skeleton fleet, unless it's alliance servers where they have to do world events, and those being one of them, nobody else is doing them.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine that the incentive would have to be there for the renown. Like if they did have an event like that,
True.
a trial would have to be a pretty epic trial for someone to dedicate that much effort to sinking an entire fleet. So I imagine it would have to be a hefty amount of renown to justify the investment for that. Same thing with like a Fort of the Damned. If they asked you to do a Fort of the Damned as a trial for seasons, if I did it, I would expect a fair amount of reputation through the renown system to completing one of those fully without having any issues with it.
At least 5 levels worth of renown in my mind.
Yeah,
something worthwhile.
Yeah, that would kickstart a lot of people on the right track to getting finished up, or a good way to close out the season if they were running close to the timer on that.
By an event, I guess.
Starting on the last topic, I guess, for seasons, as we're kind of closing things up. I'm curious, Hefe, how do you feel as far as like your progress? It feels like you're already a quarter of the way through your 100 levels. Are you confident that you'll have enough to do for the next 3 months, or does it feel like it's going a little too fast?
Well, it's going pretty quick, but at the same time, I've in the last couple of days, I've sunk some serious hours into it just because I had the availability to do so. So I think maybe going forward, I may pump the brake a little bit because at the rate that I'm going, I'll finish this thing pretty soon. But again, it's okay though, because for the most part, we just been playing. We just been just running doing our regular thing without putting too much focused effort on ticking the boxes off. So in that regard, I'm good. I'm good as long as I get my Pirate Legend curse. I have one of that thing since day one, and I think that's why I just blazing a trail to get there, because I want that thing so bad. So
I hope it comes like after season 1. Hopefully, it becomes like at least either viable or obtainable via combinations or something like that. Because a curse like that deserves at least some kind of gold sync or something.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. But progression wise, I think I was doing some math, doing a little bit of Sea of Science on this thing, and for the amount of hours that I've put in compared to the level that I'm at, it's right on track with what Joe Neat was saying in an interview the other day that I had watched about the average player. Over the course of the 3 months, if you put in 40 to 50 hours, is about what it's going to take to progress through the 100 levels. And if based on that number, I'm right on track. So I definitely think that for myself, I'll have no problem getting it done. And I think for most folks, just your average player, if you can put in 5 hours a week, I think you'll be fine. So
awesome.
Yeah,
Mina, how you feeling about the renown levels right now? Is it pretty on par with what you expected, or is it too slow or too fast?
Having never really played anything before that has this sort of aspect to it, Destiny being the closest thing but that I've been playing a couple of months. I don't really know what to expect as far as how sort of thing usually levels up at the moment. I think it's fine. It should be doable, especially even with my inability to play a lot of weekdays nowadays. I think it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I don't know.
We'll know in 3 months. We'll have to touch back on the topic.
More precisely, 10 weeks.
Yeah. Rust, how about you? How are you feeling about your progress?
I wouldn't say it's too quick. I think Hefe just lied to all of us, because what's going to happen is this, and Hefe we're texting back and forth too, so he can yell at me all he wants. Here's what's really going to happen. Okay, Hefe, Tennessee, myself, Patty, Chateau beat mean a few of us. There might be one or two of us here that don't get it as quick. But what's going to happen is, because let's be honest, as soon as I get off here today, I'm going back to play. So what's going to happen with like our core group is of us are going to get to level 100 pretty quick, probably in the majority of it, even in probably less than a month to begin with. And we're going to go back to hunting down skelly fleets, hunting down anybody that's got an emissary flag. And in a month after that, we're going to be like, there's nothing else to do other than just the same stuff we've been doing for the last couple months, which kind of worries me. Just in the sense of, I made a joke the other night when it was Tennessee and I had mentioned that, hey, what if we run like one of these Gilded tonight? And, what normally would seem like, the last couple of months have been kind of dead. Normally the seas kind of die off a little bit, right? So then you run that Gilded towards right before a new thing's about to drop. But it wasn't the same. It seemed as if all of a sudden, at least in my experience, it seemed as if all of a sudden towards, getting ready for a new thing to drop like Seasons, and there was more people on the seas than ever before. And then in the last 48 hours, I've seen a lot less people on the seas than I've seen in the last 2 months. Now, I mean, obviously that can change. And this is coming from, myself and a group of people that have just hunted down people the last 2 months. So it's not like we're just sitting back trying to, go unnoticed and ignore people. We've been legitimately going out there and trying to get people to come to us or trying to get people to find us. So it does worry me that a few of us might get through it a little too fast. There are a few trials that are definitely multi-tiered that are going to take a couple, it's going to take some sitting down and thinking about and being like, okay, we got to do A, B, and C. But, what happens after that? I don't know. Do we get stuck in the same groove that we were before and we just complain when we complain and, no matter what, through the complaining, we just end up at the table and playing every night again anyway. So, but hey, at the end of the day, there's enough skelly fleets in the world to take down. You get enough loot, and I still got some Fort of the Dams to take out, so whatever.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how folks feel once they've hit the 100 levels, depending on when that is. Regis, did you have any thoughts on the progress so far?
Well, for me, who's been playing Alliance servers recently, and yes, I do play those, so my opinion doesn't matter to you. Everybody's opinion matters. It's been going a bit fast for me because I've been just doing Athena's world events on Alliance servers, and I think I'm either 13, I'm at either 13 or 14 level at a renown, and yeah, it's been going pretty quick. And for me at least, because I play Alliance servers now because I want to grind out as much gold and reputation as possible. So yeah, unless they fix the slow down the amount, reduce the amount of renown you get, then that'll be fine because it will give players more incentives to grind out and play the game a lot longer instead of playing for 3 or 4 days straight, no sleep whatsoever, and just tire themselves out instead of just playing the game for longer and longer like intended. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how things are going to progress, and I'm sure regardless of how this season goes, next season will probably be different. In the sense that Rare will have this amount of time to kind of work on this, and like Mina mentioned, this is definitely kind of their first foray into things. And Rust, you put it well, where you talked about how they haven't followed up with emissaries. It'll be interesting to see how they follow up with Seasons. That's we're kind of at that hour mark right now. Just wanted to kind of close things off, give you guys an opportunity to share any last minute thoughts or feelings. Hefe, did you have any last thoughts on the update so far, or Tall Tales?
So far, I'm pleased with it. I think it's right on par with what what they intended, and I believe that season one, I feel like it's kind of like the trial grounds for them, and I'm sure we'll get some adjustments on things, based on how people progress and all of that, just kind of like how they've done with everything else. And so I'm just looking forward to just kind of seeing where it's going. I love the idea of kind of getting back to that quarterly big content drop. I just feel like that when that was how the standard was, I feel like that's when the game was the most stable. And using those in between points to kind of work on bugs and quality of life and all of that. So I love the idea of seasons of kind of it running the gamut of kind of that whole time period. So I'm really excited to see where things go. I'm happy where it's at, right now. Overall, I love the game. It's the one game that I play. It's one outlet, and so I'm good. I'm happy, and I'm so appreciative for again the community and the group of friends that I've been able to create through Keelhauled, and I'm kind of piggybacking what Mina said. It over the past year, it being on perpetual lockdown, it seems like this has kind of definitely been my outlet into the world, just to kind of be able to just have community with people, and in that regard, it's been amazing. So even though I might have a few gripes here and there with things, there's plenty of grace to cover that. So it's good. Everything's great.
Definitely. Mina, any closing thoughts as we head out?
I don't know. It's kind of just like Hefe said. I feel this is like their tester season. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they're going to bring out this year. There's been little hints from the developers that they've got a lot of big stuff coming out, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what that might bring. In the meantime, there's stuff to do, and I'm looking forward to carrying on. Look at what this has to bring to us, and spending time with all the friends I've made.
Definitely. Regis, how about you?
Well, before season came out, Captain Falcor said in one of his videos, like, don't expect any major lore-shattering, game-changing changes for the first season. Like, expect them like in season 2, 3, or 4. I've waited a long time for the game to return to like it's like big content updates every couple of few months. I could wait a little longer for like something like earth shattering, like maybe I don't know, the Grand Maritime Union invading the outposts of the CFEs or something like that, or maybe they're building a fort on Smugglers Bay or something like that. Yeah, so far it's so good, and again, this is like what the other guys mentioned. Like, this is like their starting ground. They're still new to this whole live service. We're still new to this whole live service thing. So give them time, though. They're learning the ropes as much as we are with this whole game thing. Like the first day we played this game.
Definitely. And Russ, to kind of close things out, any last minute thoughts or feelings on seasons or Tall Tales and where they are or how things are going?
Yeah, leave the degenerate for last. I like it. No, I'm just playing.
Easier to cut out.
Right. No, at the end of the day, this is a game that I've learned to love. A game that has brought me close to people that I would never have met without this game and without Keelhauled. So no matter what the developers do, no matter what the game does, I'm going to go to work every day. I'm going to come home and play Sea of Thieves. I'm going to complain that I don't get any other games ever finished because I'm playing Sea of Thieves. So at the end of the day, that's what matters most to me. The seasons, I do like what they're doing. I know I'm a little bit different in the sense of, I hope everybody's right. I hope they use this as a trial and error to see how the renown leveling comes up, how the trials work, the repetitiveness of some of the trials. I hope they can grow on that and see what season 2, 3, 4 and on brings. I am worried because we have hundreds of games out there with game passes that they can study and look and see what works and what doesn't. It's a little bit different with a game like this because you have so much lore behind it, and a lot of season pass games don't really carry a lot of lore. So at the end of the day, it worries me a little bit, but look, there's always skellies to kill. There's always new friends to be made, and there's always combinations to hunt down. So I'm going to have something to do no matter what.
Hoorah, Marine.
It's true. Yeah. And that, I mean, you kind of nailed it. Rare is agile when it comes to this. Even just to, what was it, yesterday? Actually, on Twitter, there was a conversation going around about the message that was kind of stuck on the screen for the entire time, letting people know, like, hey, renown is working, but it is just not tracking immediately.
Taking its time.
Yeah, and even that, there was a conversation with Joe, and shout out to him, where there was a bit of dialogue between the community and the team, where we were saying, like, hey, you know, this is really great. I really appreciated knowing that my progress was being tracked, even though if it wasn't being represented. And the comment came out that I was like, hey, you guys should do this a lot more. And other people were like, hey, you know, leave it up for a half hour or every half an hour, and maybe leave it up for 5 minutes just to kind of let people know. And it feels like they like that feedback, that they are going to try and make it a little more apparent, so that when new seasons come out, or when new tracking for features come out, or new events come out, if things are being tracked but they aren't represented, that if we have a way of knowing that and can feel safe playing the game without losing that progress, like Hefe had mentioned early on about, you know, going into the first night expecting that none of it was going to get tracked, having that bit of information just to let us know, like, you're safe, you're taken care of, really, really, at least to me, meant a lot. So I'm hoping that they kind of learn from some of the things that they're going through this week. Thank you.
One of the things about Rare is, like, they're open and honest, and that's one of the few rare, pun intended, things about the gaming industry and Rare in general. Like, they're the one and only developer that is, quite honestly, the only developer in the whole gaming industry that is honest and open and cares about its community, unlike companies like EA or Activision.
Yeah, they've done a lot to try and be as upfront with their approaches as they can be. A company is still a company for sure, but they've always tried to be very open with their community and let us know, like, how they feel about things. So it's appreciated for sure. That's going to do it for this episode. El Jefe Esteban, Mina Ferry, Regis Stella, Rust Belt Kid, with mention to Big Bad Pad, who will probably be joining us next time we do this, and Captain Blackheart for dropping in. I appreciate you all so much for joining me, but most importantly, just being a part of the community. When I started up this Discord server, it was originally just a private one for me and some friends. It was because of the podcast that I decided to shift it over to something for the podcast, just thinking if people wanted to come drop their stories in. You all have helped craft, form, and shape the narrative that this Discord has and this community, and because of that, I just wanted to thank you all for helping be a part of that and helping promote the same ideals that I hope to promote with the podcast and with our community, because you all mean the world to me.
You're welcome, Logan.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
It's a good time. Good time.
So, well,
live long and plunder, my friend.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm going to shore things up. I've got some stuff like the Twitch drops that I'll probably drop into the beginning of the episode, so folks get that information right off the bat. And that's going to do it. So I'll let you guys all head out. I know some of you want to go sailing and stuff. I'm going to continue sipping on my coffee. So if anyone needs a pirate, I'll be here, ready to play.
We will.
Well, cool. Look, I think Rusty and I are fixing to go get on. So if you
well, there's my answer to my text.
Yeah, I'd love to join you guys.
I think a bunch of us looking to get on. So it'd be good to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need gold.
I need renown.
Chateau, wherever you are, I love you.
I'm saving that.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, please do.
All right, Pirates. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining me as well as the rest of the Patreons for this special community episode. I wanted to give them an opportunity to join in and share in with some of the stories and thoughts and feelings about Sea of Thieves. They support me and it means a lot to me. And I just want to thank them for coming onto the show, spending some time, and we will see if we can get this into the regular rotation. So I'll see if we can do this once a month, if possible, if everyone's available, and see how things go, depending on how the seasons go. I hope you guys all enjoyed this. And again, if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to reach out to me. My Twitter is @CAPT_LOGUN. You can always email me at CAPTLOGUN@gmail.com. You can always join the Discord, write a review on iTunes if you'd like, or Spotify. I think Spotify does it. Plenty of different places that you can show your support, whether it's just by liking or sharing the podcast with someone that is playing Sea of Thieves, but maybe not listening to the show itself. And Pirates, with that, thank you. I love you, and I look forward to sailing with you on the Sea of Thieves.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Spark shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
Are you interested in starting a podcast, but you don't know how to get started? Are you concerned that your podcast just isn't reaching the audience that you're trying to reach? Well, this is Robots from the Robots Radio Network, and I have a podcast for you. It is the Podcast Creator's Guide. You can check it out here at robotsradio.net on any podcatcher and listen every week for quick tips and updates for how to get you started and growing your podcast even faster. Check it out today. The Podcaster's Creator's Guide.
Are you an avid player of the Elder Scrolls Online and looking to take your game to that next level? Well, the Red Diamond Courier podcast is here to help. I'm Bob Chichinski.
And I'm Dogbark24.
We are two experienced players aiming to help others learn and improve through in-game knowledge and references.
From PvE
to PvP
and everything in between.
There's sure to be something for you in the Red Diamond Courier. We hope you check us out.
Thanks.